Peace, family. I know it's been a while since we did another video, um, but we've just been inundated with our website and just revamping a lot of our platforms and streamlining our processes. So today we invite you all to take another stroll with us into the topic of authentication. Before I get into that, I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to our channel. We've actually reached 100 subscribers. So thank y'all for that support. Make sure y'all continue to share. Make sure that y'all continue to like, comment, and for those that haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And for those that did and are already a part of our watch community, just make sure you hit the notification bell so you can be alerted every time we put out a new video. All right, as always, we're not providing any legal advice. All information is for educational research and purposes only. All right. One of the things that I realized and why we're talking about this do not authenticate your birth certificate is because it's, generating some um traction. It's only, a couple months and there's about 800 views. We're new to all of this stuff, so we're not necessarily concerned with how, quickly something gets out to the community, but we just want to do our part to get the right information out to the community. All right. So, again, that's our only purpose. So if you're on here, just do your own research, make your own informed decision. So, one of the things that we haven't done is we haven't really marketed our Blog Talk Radio. So I'll mention that now, and it's Blog Talk Radio um, .com, and we do a talk show on there, and you can go back and listen to a lot of the recorded uh, or the previous recordings, at your leisure. But yeah, on Blog Talk, we meet every Tuesdays and Thursdays at around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can come in and get these questions answered quickly and help us, to try to spread the information to people who are at least seeking it. All right. So let me go down here. We thank you all for the 18 comments on this particular post. It's the comments that just got me just now, which is why I want to talk about it again. A lot of this stuff we can do off the top of our head because, we're just looking at the law. So there's not much that I need to ad lib or we need to ad lib to these videos. We're just, sharing some of the things that people might not be aware of. So let's go into that. So some comments on here. Um, there's some interesting ones, and then there's some that I don't know exactly what all they're trying to state, um, why do states and federal government have an authentication service? That's easy because it's actually meant to be facilitated for the use in foreign jurisdictions. So the whole point of authenticating an American birth certificate is to use it abroad in some other country, and sometimes they want proof that the documents that you're presenting is actually an official copy. And for a lot of people that are out in the public, if you're a notary or if you do mobile notary, you're aware of notary services, they do services, as I'll show you shortly, on like apostilles. And, that's just the same um, sentiments that is surrounding the authentication process is the same sentiments that are surrounding the apostille process. And what the apostille process is supposed to do is just, again, prove genuineness of the document, but not from the authenticated standpoint, just from a certification standpoint. All right, so I got to skip over some of these. Some people said, well, this person said I was about to authenticate mine, but another guy on here named Yusef also talks about authenticating your birth certificate is useless. If you're talking about Yusuf L, I'm familiar with Yusuf L because Yusuf L created the platform for us to learn. Back in 2014, Jonah Bay was a part of that whole team, and because I was a student of Jonah Bay, I got put on to Yusef. I met Yusef in person. Now, what I want y'all to understand is I appreciate the fact that we can identify some of these people that are doing it. But when we came out, Yusef was just like me. We made the mistake of authenticating our birth certificate because we thought that was the thing to do because that's what was being taught to us. All right. So, this other person said I authenticated my BC for nothing. You can find purpose for it. But I'm not going to get into that today. That's not what I want to do. All right. So these last two comments just happened in the last week, which I appreciate. So this is fresh. So I'm going to address these. So in the last couple weeks, it says one person says clearly, Empress Fran 75 says clearly, you don't know what it means when it says property and papers, chattel papers, and you, us, we are the property. Keep researching. If I'm assuming, because I haven't looked over this video in a while, but if I'm assuming that you're talking about when the Secretary of State's uh, particular duties and functions are referencing recording papers, chattel, and stuff like that, that's because they're the record keepers. Now, at the end of the day, they're not talking about in that instance that those are being referenced as property. So I just don't know where to go with this, but I'm going to enlighten you a little bit more as to what the codes have to offer. And then this last one doesn't give me any context. They just say you don't know what you're talking about. And without any feedback, there's not much that I can respond to that. But I appreciate y'all feedback. So let's address these two comments. I couldn't butcher that last name, so I didn't even want to try. So I appreciate all these people that find the time and take the time to provide feedback. I'm not going to do this often, but I'm going to do this today. All right. So in this section here that I'm looking at, if I scroll back to the top, it's just 22 CFR Part 92, and it's talking about notarial and related services. So that's why I talked about the notary stuff. If you're into mobile notary, you can call these people and find out for yourself just to get an idea of what they do and how much they charge and things like that. It's one of the ways that I encourage people that are trying to maybe start their own business, to go that route. It's not a hard process to get into, and all of the stuff that you need to do is pretty much right here. So now here they're going to talk about specific notarial acts, and they go through these codes. So if you ever wanted to know if there was a difference between an oath and affirmation, well, here it tells you, right? So there's one section for oath, there's a section for affirmation. So, I like to say people like to do affidavit, I like to do affirmations, all right? So it tells you right here, all right? So if you want to know what an affidavit is, it tells you right here how to take an affidavit, the usual form of the affidavit, and so on and so forth, all the way down to signature. They break it down for you. So as we scroll down, it comes to authentication right here, 92.36. So if you just click on that, we don't need to get into a back and forth. We just need to be able to, share the information. So, this is an attempt to see if we can dig a little bit further for those that say that, we don't know what we're talking about. So let's dig a little bit further. So authentication defined, not my definition. This is what they have to offer. An authentication is a certification of the genuineness of the official character, i.e. signature and seal. What all they're saying is when you do an authentication, they're giving you the example of what they're looking for right here. And it's two things. They're looking for signature and seal if it's under their jurisdiction. And if it's not under their jurisdiction, they're looking for the position. So, like a consular general of like the embassy or whatever. So, consular general of, Yucatan. So, position of a foreign official. So, this is what they authenticate. And you know that because if you go back to this video and look at the laws that were cited on this document. Give me a second. And up here, it tells you, this is about the seal and signature or the seal of the state, right? And whatever state it is. But down here, it tells you, this asterisk tells you that it's important. And it's the only thing that's kind of bolded in the body of the whole certificate, right? It says, that I can't read it, but I'm going to tell you what it says. It says that the state assumes no responsibility for the documents that are attached. Why? Show me someone who can prove to me that by authenticating your birth certificate, you actually did something to alter the status of your actual document, the actual birth certificate. Show me in your codes or laws or statutes or what have you, where it demonstrates that it's been altered because it hasn't been, right? So again, let's go here. They even go further. It is an act done with they're going to tell you this, their intention, not mine, of causing a document which has been executed or issued in one jurisdiction to be recognized in another jurisdiction. Come on, people. Let's stop making this hard. Some of us are parked on stupid, some of us are parked, and some of us are stuck on dumb. Like, I get it. And that's not an offensive thing. I'm just trying to say that at the end of the day, I feel like some of you all are just so determined to like use the force, if you will, to make a poor situation better. Like, just do your research. If people like Yusuf can, and he's been in the game for longer than a lot of people, right? But if you can, admit that you did something and it didn't provide you with the result that you were looking for, well, that's something to consider. You know what I mean? Do you continue to still promote the same thing? People brag that they help millions of people to accomplish this. Well, think about it. If you did this and you didn't leave the country to go use this document in another country, you basically paid into the system. And if we say on average, each of these process would run $100 with the mailings and everything else that you had to do, the fees and everything, right? If we say on average that you committed $100, if it was 1 million people, that's 100 million people. I mean, $100 million. That was, poured into the system for no relief whatsoever. Now, if I'm saying something to offend you all, I apologize. All I'm doing is just breaking down the information that is in front of me. And what I'll do on the next video, because I'm running over time now, is I'll go into the most cited code, which is Minnesota Rule 220, that everybody in their mother cites to be able to get this done. And I'll show you why y'all are missing the mark. And then after that video, I'll come back and I'll show you proof. I'm not going to get excited. So, just pay attention. Documents which may require authentication include birth certificate, death certificate, and marriage certificates. They're just telling you, y'all. All right. So I don't know what the big, ordeal is. Like, I can't make this stuff up. This is under notary. A notary is subservient to the Secretary of State. That's how you get your commission. Like, come on, people. These are glorified record keepers in your location. And that's all it is. An extension of the Secretary of State, man. All right, authentication procedure. I'm not going to go into it. I just want y'all to just get it because for some reason y'all think that this is authenticating your birth certificate. It's not. Stop it. Stop it. Authentication procedure. The consular officer must compare the foreign official's seal and signature. What are they comparing? Your birth certificate? Oh, this person was born on this day and they were this big and this was their sign. And no, they're not. They don't even give you credence that you are alive. Yet you want to argue with me with a dead document? Go look at the IRS code. The infant is a decedent's estate, man. You're already dead in law. Stop it. That's why a lot of y'all sound crazy to me when you go into these, and that's dismissive. I apologize. But it sounds a little bit off to me when you go into these courts and you acknowledge that you are a living soul, but you're in a dead proceeding. Let me just stop. All right. So, in any instance, seal and signature on the document, he is asked to authenticate with a specimen of the same official seal and signature. Like, come on, seal and signature. All right, let's go down a little bit further. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Note, citing. Oh, wait, seal and signature. All right, so go back and read this stuff for yourself. I'm over my time frame. I'll try to, cut off at in a minute. Just making sure that I don't skip anything. This is not, something that I like to do rush. If y'all want to get insight, join us on the calls. I answer questions live on the air. Otherwise, you all should take advantage of our webinars and our different Discord private membership and things like that, so y'all can get the insight. At the end of the day, all y'all have to do is just read. All right. So, with that being said, I want to thank everybody that continues to support. Thank you all again for the 100 subscribers. We're looking now to push for 500 subscribers, and we're fine with just taking our time and growing slowly. We just want to help people see things the way that they're supposed to be seen, and we want to help people to make informed decisions. That's our whole purpose. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, make sure you comment. Good, bad, or indifferent, we'll take it. And in no way, shape, or form do I want to pick at people, but I just want to make sure that whatever we're disseminating, we stand behind it, and we can show and demonstrate the proof as to why we stand behind it. We're just asking y'all to do the same thing. So if you can't do that on here by citing and you don't want to write all that stuff, come on Blog Talk and talk about it. It's easier to talk about a lot of these things. So again, thank y'all. Now, before I let y'all go, we have some webinars that we'll be planning shortly for um, January, February, and March. So be on the lookout. We'll start to market those. I want to do something for January 1st. I've been advertising that on Blog Talk. I'm not solidified on the topic just yet, but what I will do is the first 100 subscribers that were on here, because we're a little bit over 100 now, the first 100, what I'm going to ask y'all to do is, and I'll put probably an email because I know I'm going to get inundated. So I'll create a new email, but we'll put an email link. And all we're going to ask you to do is just go ahead and let us know if you want to participate in the upcoming webinar. We'll make sure we give you the title and what we're going to go over, and then what y'all can expect and how much that's going to cost. And what we'll do is we'll give y'all a great discount just for being loyal patrons, for being a part of the watch party. I know that's a little bit ruffled. I'm trying to make sure I get it out the way I want to, but the point is we just want to thank y'all for your continued support. Whether you have things that are positive to say or things that you feel that some of us might take in a negative way, right? But at the end of the day, we're just all here trying to exercise our mind and trying to move forward. So thank y'all again for the continued support. I'll go in depth in the next video, and we'll try to be on top of this until we get the webinar done. All right. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. Peace, y'all.